I would like to welcome our esteemed keynote speaker, Dr. Himansh Chaudhary sir, MBBS MS in ENT and consultant ENT surgeon from Nirmaya ENT Clinic, Berhampur, Odisha, and would request sir to kindly apprise us on today's topic. Welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for giving me opportunity. So, just before starting presentation, as always, I am telling you about online meeting etiquettes. I know all of you know about this. Please mute your mic whenever you want to ask a question. You can raise your hand or you can put it in the chat box. And please do not annotate in this screen. So, before starting presentation, I want to clarify something that during the presentation, whatever things I have put, it's only to scientific authority. It is either approved by World Health Organization or Health and Family Welfare of India. And you will see that in many categories, in many parts, I have deliberately mentioned nothing about the some drugs and vaccines. It is because there is no scientific data till yet to prove it. So, as Madam told, we have 5 different parts. So, anywhere after finishing one part, I will go for a question session. Whenever you have any doubt, you can solve it. So, starting my presentation, mostly my presentation will be based on prevention part, because all of you know that the treatment part of COVID-19 is yet to arrive. There is no sure-shot vaccine. There is no sure-shot medical treatment. Whatever the treatment is done, it is only symptomatic treatment, whatever we are doing, and it is the body's immunity power which is helpful for the recovery. So there is no sure-shot, single-shot drug which is not discovered till now. So mostly my presentation will be on the prevention part. Now, before starting the presentation, what we should know is what is COVID-19. We know that coronavirus is not a new virus. Coronavirus is a virus which is present since long. It is a respiratory virus, and it belongs to. Why it is COVID-19? Because it is called coronavirus disease 2019, as it is the year of origin. So let's know something about this virus. First, how does the coronavirus spread? The virus spreads with droplets, and the droplets spreading from infected person or a suspected healthy carrier to other persons. The only method to go is eye, nose, and mouth. So it spreads from eye, nose, and mouth and goes to eye, nose, and mouth. One thing I want to mention that the virus cannot walk its own. To transmit, it needs a medium, and that is the droplets. You know, we are using mask. We are telling all of us have been advised that if you use mask, then the virus cannot enter inside our body. But why mask? Because you know that the virus particle is very small. It is smaller than the particle of the opening of the mask holes. But the virus cannot enter because the droplets which carries the virus cannot enter into our body. Why it is so important? Why is so many people are talking about COVID-19 or coronavirus? This is the situation on May 29. We know that in May 29, India belongs to the top 10 countries of the world, and the confirmed cases are 1,65,000. You can see that the death is 4,700, recovery rate is 71,000, and active cases is 89,987. So this is just a tip of the iceberg. Why I am telling that? That these are the confirmed cases. These are the cases from which we have taken a swab sample and we have tested positive. The science tells that for one confirmed cases there may be 5 healthy carriers. So you can see the measure the pandemic thing. That's why WHO declared it as a pandemic. If you will see the Odisha, till 28th May, the total cases was 4,259, and in my district, where I am living, Berhampur Ganjam is the most hotspot area with more amount 400 cases. There are 3 stages of corona. One is no pneumonia, pneumonia, severe pneumonia. In the social media, you will find that there are lot of tests, lot of videos. They are telling that some video I am telling that, so I am watching. They tell that no, don't afraid of corona. It is not nothing. It is only the creator of the pharma market. It is the creator of the media to highlight the situation, to differ the toggle war between China and USA. Why it is called so? And the frontline workers, some of my friends those are working in Gujarat, some of my friends who are working in Mumbai, they are telling the different situation. So the stages of corona, no pneumonia, pneumonia and severe pneumonia. No pneumonia means around 80% of the people which are asymptomatic carriers, they are having just some symptoms of fever and cough, are another particular no pneumonia. There are only 10% of people which go to cluster pneumonia. There is a little bit of breathlessness, little bit of respiratory distress, and next 5 to 6% of cases, those in the highest stage, those go to severe pneumonia cases. And these severe pneumonia cases, they are very difficult to thrive, and they are very difficult to survive. They go for isolation for a long time, and we'll see that the mortality rate in India is little bit lower, but is mostly lower than the foreign countries like USA, UK. The mortality rate is a little bit lower. Why it is lower? Because we have some herd immunity. Since birth, we are exposed to different types of virus, different types of bacteria due to our environmental condition, so that in our body we have certain bit of amount of immunity. That's why the stages of corona, we are mostly no pneumonia and pneumonia stages, not to severe pneumonia stages. What are the symptoms? The symptoms of pneumonia is varying. It is starting from no presentation at all to mild amount of fever, little bit amount of cough and pain in the throat, difficulty in breathing, and 2 more symptoms added by WHO, that is loss of taste sensation and loss of smell sensation. You will see that around 90% of the people who are coming to my OPD, my ENT OPD, they are having similar symptoms. Some is having fever, some is having cough, some is having difficulty in breathing, some is having loss of smell sensation, loss of taste sensation, but these are not all of corona. So don't be panic if you develop the symptoms. First consult a doctor. Even if you develop a small bit of fever and slightest feverish like a tissue, small amount of cough, there's little bit of headache, just go to your doctor, consult him, take his advice. Another thing is that I don't know actually how far it is practically approachable, but the government authority, the government instruction, all the pharma companies, all the medicine shops, they have to keep the diary to maintain that how much, how many people are purchasing simple drugs like paracetamol and anti-cold drugs, so that they can track the cases. Now coming to next slide. So if we compare the corona with the different viruses, like we are having Ebola, you are having SARS, you are having MERS. So it is indistinguishable from the all other respiratory illnesses. Incubation period, so it is sometimes told that 7 days to 14 days. The running nose is more in flu, but one thing is sure that the mortality rate of flu is 0.1% and the COVID mortality is 3%. But one thing is that the COVID mortality is not as far as the SARS mortality. The SARS is around 5 to 10% mortality in SARS, but in COVID it is only 3%. Now, why? What are the risk factors that make people more vulnerable to COVID-19? You will see the death rate divided by the age ratio. Mostly those persons who are elderly people, those with more than age 60 and more, they are mostly affected. So if you see the highest countries with highest death rate like USA or UK, Australia, you will see that when there are all elderly people, when they were having higher elderly people with mortality factors like cardiovascular diseases, respiratory diseases, diabetes, carcinoma, smokers, chronic alcoholics, and those with age 60 and above, they are mostly risk factors. And this, if you will see the death rate, around 70 to 80% of death occurs due to these comorbidities. Now I already told the India's death per lakh population is the lowest in the world. It is around 0.3. If you see the world rate, it is 4.5. Mexico is 5.7. Brazil is 10.5, Germany is 10, and in Belgium you will see that is 81.2. UK, Italy is 54.3 and 50.53. You can see the and nowadays recent studies is told that the types of viruses, why we will call it this coronavirus novel coronavirus, because the virus mutates itself, and it has been told that there are 3 strains of viruses. With one virus is having a higher fatality rate, and the virus which is spreading in India is having a lesser mortality rate. So whatever may the situation, but fortunately we are having a virus disease that is having lesser mortality rate, and due to our health condition, our immunity status, we are mostly immune to some amount of viruses. That's why our mortality rate is 0.3. Now, what is, if you compare the outbreak rate, India has so far about 7.1 cases per lakh of population. But if you see the world cases, it is 60 per lakh of population. USA is 431, Russia is 195, UK is 361, Spain is 495. But one thing is that how you can confirm that this is the severity of the infection. One thing is that to diagnose I am going through a joke. So whenever only one country is there in the world that is not infected by coronavirus since last month. So whenever the media people ask the president what we have done that you don't have any COVID-19 cases, so he told that no, I cannot have any COVID-19 cases because we don't have testing kits. So as they don't have any testing kits, they cannot test the COVID-19 cases. So that I told you earlier that only the positive cases with symptomatic cases we are testing, and the test currently the test which we have done by COVAX machine is costing around 4,000 rupees. So in our economic level, in our economic crisis level, so we are testing only the positive cases which are only symptomatic. So whenever the test rate is high, when you do more tests, we will do more contact tracing. The case rate will also increase. So what is the benefits of lockdown? Why the governments are doing lockdown? We know that recently Brazil is the second country that is affected the most affected by followed by the USA. So there is a fact that there is some school of thought that if the virus will be spread, there will be question of the herd immunity. Whenever the herd immunity will rise, then there will be no infection, no further infection. But it is very difficult to gain the herd immunity. You have to sorry sorry to gain herd immunity, at least 1/3 of the world population should be affected. So to gain herd immunity, Brazil opened up itself, and that's why what happened that all the persons which are having higher mortality ratios, like elderly people, all the people with diabetic, cardiovascular side effects, and they all died out. So what we have gained of the lockdown in India, that is pandemic control. That is a large number of deaths is averted, a very less number of cases are averted, much less number of persons spreading infection, and the outbreak is confined to limited areas. If you see that around 70% of the cases in India is restricted to only 13 cities. So how do we already gain that we bought some time to establish COVID hospitals. We wasted some time to make some ventilator machine. We increase the testing capacity. Sorry. And there is increase in supplies, the equipment oxygen availability. And the thing is that we made some guidelines, we make some standards prepared, just excuse me for a minute.
So I think there is a network issue at your end.
I'm extremely sorry. So After the lockdown, we have achieved two things. One is how we have controlled the pandemic. We have attended the court for some time. We have purchased time for ourselves so that we can prepare, we can make the guideline, and we can do the diagnostics, we can purchase the medicines, we can purchase the drug trials and vaccine research and many more. Now this is the recovery and case fatality rate. I have already told that is only 3%, and it is much lower than the France and Italy, UK, Spain. You will see that from all the countries it is much more lower. The recovery rate, you can see that gradually the recovery rate is improving. You will see that in March 25th it is 7%, and March when the lockdown is started, you can see that April 15, May 3rd, and May 18, and May 29, it is 42% of the infected population. Now, what India has done, India has made some labs, shipped RT-PCR machines, the manpower is augmented. We have trained all the health power, all the interns, all the MBBS students, all the healthcare workers, and we have made RT-PCR kits and swabs and RNA extraction kits with ourselves. India now has 612 total testing labs, and 430 is run by ICMR, 182 is by private labs, and approximately 1.1 lakh sample tested per day. But one thing is that although we are testing around 1 lakh sample per day, if the Indian population, you will see 130 crores, so we cannot screen everybody. So that's why the ICMR is changing criteria day by day, so that only the symptomatic cases will be screened. Now, the most important part is we should not be afraid of this disease. We should face the disease. We know that today or another day we may be infected. So the stigma affects the emotional and mental health of those stigmatized. What happens that if a patient is, we are taking some interviews of the patients who have been cured, and they told that after curing, after they are cured also, nobody is talking with them, nobody wants to meet with them. That's why that is the hesitation. So whenever the hesitation is more, we'll see that the percent of the patient reporting for screening is less. So it's time to show compassion, assurance, respect, and encouragement to the patients. We have to fear for the disease, but not of the disease. Now this is the cycle. We have seen that many of the times there are violences against the medical people. There are discriminations, silence by the patients, fear from some groups of organization. So that leads to delay in the treatment. When there is delay in the treatment, the mortality rate is high. So we have to break the chain at each and every step, so that we should not reach a condition where there is a high mortality. So what should be done? We know that we cannot avoid the virus completely. So what we can do that? We should maintain at least 1 meter distance between yourself and anyone who is coughing or sneezing. The mask is must. So here ends my first part of COVID-19 brief. So if there is any questions, madam, then we can answer. Is there any question?
Sir, until now we are not having any questions, or maybe one question we are having.
Yeah.
And okay, so that is related to sharing of the slides, and we are going to share the slides of sir after the webinar is over. So today itself you will be getting your slides from sir. And till that time, maybe sir, we can take the questions which had been asked during registration, which we can take.
Okay, those questions which have been asked in registration, I think we will talk it in the last, because many of the questions, around 90% of the questions I have already answered in my presentation. So if there is something is we can do it last.
Okay. So until people have a question, I have a general question. Yesterday
Yeah.
I saw in yesterday I don't remember in which news channel, but
Hmm.
I saw in a news channel it was said that since till December 2020, we are expecting that half of the population of India would be suffering from COVID-19. So how do you take it? Will means is it true like half of the population of India is going to suffer from COVID-19 without knowing that they are suffering from COVID-19?
Definitely, ma'am. You can see that in my department is ear, nose, and throat, and day in and day out, I am taking upper respiratory tract infection, and I know that whenever recently now I am suffering from upper respiratory tract infection. So I do not know. Maybe I may be COVID-19 positive, because you know that around 90% of the population, those who are exposed to that viruses, they may have the disease, but only 10% of the population they show the symptoms, and those where we are testing, that I have already told that it is, you cannot avoid the viruses 100%. Even if you wear PPE kit, the chances of infection is still remain at 10%. So maybe, and the thing is that in one of my webinar, one of my senior friend who is a cardiologist, he told that we know that as a doctor, as a intensivist, we will be exposed to viruses, but we pray to God that you may be infected by viruses. We are happy to infected by viruses, but with a low dose. If a person is affected by virus in a low dose, what happens that his body immunity gets over the viruses, the antibody is created, but when the viruses enters in a high dose and your immunity power is low, then the game changes. So the prediction is maybe right, not maybe December or maybe end of the next year. Around 1/3 of the population of throughout the world will definitely be infected if the prevention measure is not controlled. You'll see that there are two states, like one in country I want to highlight, like Japan. The infection rate in Japan is very low than throughout the world. Why? Because of their culture. Before erasing of the COVID-19, all the children who were going outside the home, they all wear masks. They have higher sanitation etiquette. That's why they are not being infected. But in India, we have to create that etiquette still. That's why I think this may be right. We may be infected at some point of time, because most of the cases are asymptomatic.
So we have a question from participant, Miss Rachna. She is asking, sir, is it possible after opening of the lockdown, the risk factor is more when one comes out?
There are two schools of thoughts, because this virus is a novel viruses, and we are comparing with other pandemic episodes. So 100 years back, we have a pandemic. In that pandemic, the second SARS is most dangerous than the first SARS. But one thing is that whenever the lockdown is over, I want to highlight, whenever the lockdown is over, everybody is happy, everybody is moving out freely, and the virus is also happy. So after the lockdown is over, the risk factor is more. More means whenever the containment decreases, the most important thing is whenever the containment decreases. I want to give you a practical example. Before 1 month, in our government criteria, it is told that whoever coming to our state, they will be containment for 28 days. That is decreased to 21 days, then decreased to 14 days, then decreased to 7 days. So when the containment decreases, the chances of infection goes out. Because for 28 days, if the patient is not remaining having a particular home isolation, so he goes out, he moves with the general public, the spread of the virus is more. So you are right that after opening lockdown, the risk factor is more.
So we have another question. The question is it safe for students or children in school probably to go out?
Actually, WHO has a good guideline. You can, I will mention all the friends that you should rely on two sources. One is who.org, whoint.org. Second is Indian Government Health and Family Welfare website. WHO has given a right protocol for opening of the schools. In one country, the school has opened, and in 1 week they have got the 70 cases. So the schools are again shut down. One thing is that is it also safe for students? No, because um, some studies say, some educationists say that if the students are going from the school, absent from the school for a long time, so they will not having increased willingness to study. And some studies show that those people who are survival on the school for the midday meal, their health status is decreasing. But as per your question, it is not safe for students. There may be some risk, but government will take appropriate step with consulting all the authorities, because we have to go by the government. And WHO has told around 8 to 9 criteria when schools should be opened. There are some protocols. They have mentioned that school with adequate social distances, and some told that only the classes from this class 7th from the more, they will also go to school. And some studies told that 50% people will go to school in a single day, then another 50% will go to school. But these are only in the trial and error method. The trial method, there is not any sure answer to this question. One thing I will show that whenever government plans, it is having a scientific data with your epidemiologists, with our social studies, then we can follow them. But the risk is always there.
So actually, the government, as per the government has a plan of opening all the schools in June. So this was the question related to it, whether students and children, they should be allowed during that time, and how, means within the risk factor, should they go to school, and is it a good
So
decision?
answering to that question, if it is I mean a hypothetical question. One thing is that we know that everybody, all the persons who have become a positive should be in the lockdown manner, in a containment zone, but it's not practical possible. Similarly, it depends on the government. So what the government's plan to open the school, and it is the personal criteria. We know that in our center, in our state, in our district, many of the tuitions are open. People are going to the tuitions. People are going to the park. So it's a personal decision. But yes, whenever a children or student goes to a school, goes to outside from your house, there is a little bit of chances.
And next question, or this is the last question of the session, then maybe we can take other questions after the theory.
Yeah.
So the question is, if we use, it is from Dr. Akhilesh Kumar. He's asking, if we use lemon water more in excess amount daily, future problem going to come, means the question is whether lemon water is going to be beneficial for curing COVID-19 or
No, actually, I have already told. I have already told that whatever I will in a presentation is based on only the government or scientific data. So, nowhere it is written that lemon water will cure COVID-19. So, absolute no from my side.
Okay. And one more question is, corona can spread through tears or not? As the sources says aerosol, that is liquid droplets, so would it spread through tears as well?
No. Different body fluids it can store, it can spread, but through tears it is not. There is no significant or scientific data on that. It can pass through stools. And one interesting study has told that what is aerosol? Aerosol means there should be a spread, and tears are not spreading; they are flowing down. And one thing is that it is told that whenever a patient who is a COVID-19 positive, he went to the toilet, after passing stool, he flushes down. So this process can cause aerosol, and that can stay in the atmosphere for a longer time. It can the viruses can appear in the patient's stool at least for 33 days or 28 days. But spreading through tear, no scientific data till now.
So this is the last question. What nutrition is good to increase the immunity?
Yeah, nutrition to get immunity. In my previous project, even the previous webinar, one of my friend means one of junior friend asked me, sir, tell me what are the things I want to do so that I can increase the immunity. It is asking like that in the before the examination you will ask that what I can do that I can pass it. No, immunity is it cannot be acquired in a single day. It is your lifestyle. If a person does regular healthy diet means what are the immune boosters? The healthy diet, which is FDA approved, that is the diet should consisting of 25% of the carbohydrate, 25% of the proteins, 60% of the vegetables, 40% of the fruits. It should have some big amount of dry fruits, and according to that you can have a 1 glass of dairy milk, dairy products. That is the diet which has been approved by FDA, and if you take it for a long time, that creates your immunity. It is not that if you take some diet for 1 month or 2 months, then your immunity will increase. It is a lifestyle. If you do regular exercise for a lifelong, then your immunity will increase, your boosting capacity will increase. Those who are doing meditation, those who are doing relaxation mechanism, relaxation physiology, that immunity increases if you do it a long time. So yeah, diet is having some particular role in the immune system, but I've already told all the Indian spices, the legumes, the green leafy vegetables, those are rich in minerals, nutrients, and your vitamins. This increases the immunity.
So maybe we can take rest of the questions after your presentation.
Okay, yes, okay. Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So coming to my next part, that is preventive measures for personal protection. So in my presentation, I have around 100 slides and 50 slides for this, because we know that from till now from our discussion that we cannot avoid the viruses completely. Whatever the personal care you take, we are not 100% sure that you are not carrying the viruses. Second thing is that there is no sure shot drug, there is no sure shot vaccination. So the only method is prevention, prevention, and prevention. First is hand wash. So practice frequent hand washing. Wash your hands with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand rub. So I think all of you know that about 5 steps of hand washing. If you don't know, you can see the WHO site or see the video. So there are 5 steps of hand washing. First, we have to wash your wrist, then your knuckles, your finger beaks and tip of the finger, backside of the hand. It says completion of 5 steps of the hand wash. Second thing is, mostly question is asked that is hand washing with soap is good, or disinfectant is good, or sanitizer is good. I will always go for this hand washing with soap, because now government has made compulsory to have give sanitizer, give that your disinfectant to everybody whoever enters this shop. Whenever I am entering a shop or whenever in an institution, they are giving a little drop. That is means I think they are giving 0.5 ml only. That's to just for the law, but that is not not sufficient. One thing is that if you're washing the hand properly, that's good. But whenever there is the situation of like that, the hand wash is not available, then you give for hand drops. So when to wash your hand? After coughing or sneezing, after using or cleaning the bathroom, before and after eating or preparing the food, before and after caring for a sick person or treating a cut or wound, after touching an animal, after touching garbage. Use hand sanitizer when it is very important. Use hand sanitizer when the soap and water is not available, and use sanitizer. It is 60% alcohol by Government of India, but WHO tells 70% of the alcohol. Any other public places or situation where soap and water is not available, before and after visiting a hospital, nursing home, or any health facility, you should have disinfectant by sanitizer. So the first thing is that you have to use your hand frequently with soap and water, and sanitizer whenever soap and water is not available. So which kind of soap you want to use? Any kind of soap. Any kind of soap you can use, but you have to wash your hands for 20 seconds. And sanitizer, you will see that you have to use alcohol-based sanitizer. I am seeing in the market available that Ayurvedic sanitizers. It is no use. You can this gives a good fragrance, but the 70% alcohol is not there, and it's not going to help you. Now 5 steps of hand washing I have already told. So before touching your eye, nose and mouth, if a person do say one thing, only one thing, if he promises himself that before touching my eye, nose and mouth, I will wash my hand, 100% sure that he will not have a virus. But it is not always possible. That's why you always wash your hands and frequently wash using your soap and water, and keep yourself clean. And one thing is that you think everything is dirty unless otherwise it is clean in your presence. Now comes to the very important thing is mask. We know that the spread of the virus and entry of the viruses is from the same route, your nose and mouth. So cover your nose and mouth with handkerchief tissue while sneezing and coughing. Which mask is more effective? In market there are 100 types of masks, but I will tell about 3 masks. This is normal surgical mask, cloth mask. This is a surgical mask, 3-ply surgical mask, and this is N95 mask. The single layer face mask, it is of non-woven fabric or wood pulp tissue paper, and it is mostly used in food processing industry. It is not protection against coronaviruses. It is not recommended, but for normal people who are doing outdoor activities, this gives some amount of protection. The next is your surgical mask or medical mask. It is 3 layer. The innermost layer is having absorbent material that absorbs moisture from the breath. The middle layer is acting as a filter. The outer layer, it is a little bit of sticky, so I believe automatically slippery, so it repels the liquid. And why there are pleats? The pleats to increase the surface area. And one thing is that it does not offer tight fit. So for healthcare workers, it is not meant. One thing is that we know that before wearing the mask, you have to wash your hands, and you should increase the pleats, and you should wear the mask covering entire of your nose, mouth, and chin. N95 mask. This is a tight fitting mask with a filtration system. There are millions of microfibers, polypropylene mostly, that are electrostatically charged. So this can filter 95% of the particles which are more than 0.3 microns. We know that coronavirus, I have already told, it is less than of the size, that is 0.14 micron. The size of the pore is 0.3 micron. This virus's size is 0.14 micron. Still the viruses cannot go because it is started by Brownian motion. So the important thing is that you can use normal mask, or you can use mask by your normal clean clothes, but surgical mask is good. N95 mask, it is good for protection, but it is very difficult to wear. Whenever I use a mask for 4 to 6 hours, It is literally very difficult. You will have pain, you will have sore in your nose. It is a little more aching, and it is really costly also. So in community, your simple cloth mask, infected person, surgical mask, non-aerosol generating hospital setting, you can use surgical mask, and aerosol setting, the N95 mask. But everybody should wear a mask. One thing is that whether also if you are using N95 mask, you have to properly seal it. How can you check the seal? If you can blow a candle through a N95 mask, that means your mask is not sealed. That means the air from your mouth should not go outside. It will go through the right side also. So you have to check the seal. You have to fit properly. Then only the mask will work properly. Now, is it necessary? I have already told about Japan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. These three countries, they are having strict quarantine rules, and they have a culture of wearing masks regularly since long. So that's why their transmission rate, you will see, they're very low. There are very low transmission rate. But in the countries like China, Italy, Iran, Spain, and US, South Korea, they don't have a culture of wearing masks regularly. You can see the curve. The curve goes like this. So wearing a mask is important. If an infected person wears a mask, the virus can be transmitted outside. If a normal person is wearing the mask, the chances of virus going inside is also low. That's why if the both infected person and normal person wears the mask, the 95% of the chance of transmission is gone. Now, what is the do's and don't of the mask? First thing is that before using the mask, you have to wash your hand properly. Inspect the mask for any tears or any holes. Find the top side. The top side will have a plastic snap in it. Ensure the color side faces outwards. Places the metal piece over the steep edge of your nose. Cover your mouth, nose, and chin. Adjust the mask to your face without leaving gaps on the sides. Avoid touching the mask. Remove the mask from the behind the ear, not removing like the inside. Remove the mask from the behind. Keep the mask away from the surfaces while removing it. Discard the mask immediately after use. Wash your hands properly. So what are the don'ts? Do not use a mask, surgical mask, for too long. If you are having sweating, the effectiveness of mask is gone. Do not wear the mask in your mouth only. You should also cover your nose. Do not wear a loose mask. Do not touch the front side of the mask, and do not remove the mask regularly, and do not leave your used mask within the reach of the others. I have seen patients, they will remove the mask and will keep it in my table, and do not reuse the mask. Now comes the mask sterilization. So the surgical mask which we are now using, it was costing me around 3 rupees before COVID-19. Whenever the COVID-19 started, then we purchased at a rate of 30 rupees. Now, when the turnover of mask is high, we are getting it at 10 rupees. So now questions comes about mask sterilization. There are 3 to 4 methods. These are not for disposable masks. This is for the cloth masks. We can do air drying, 48 to 72 hours in a clean and dry place. Keep in a Bethel paper bag, and you can also avoid direct sunlight. You can heat in an oven. Hang in the oven for 30 minutes at 70 degrees centigrade. You can dry it in a rice cooker without water. Put the mask for 3 minutes at 150 degrees centigrade. Another thing is that chemical sterilization with H2O2 or A2O. And nowadays, another thing is readily available. These we are using in our OPD centers. That this is like UV sterilization. This UV cabinet is costing around 5 to 6,000 rupees. But the innovator people in my place, they have just converted from a just normal box. They are just fitting UV lights and a timer. The ITA people, they are making it in 2 to 3,000 rupees. This is a very good equipment. You can sterilize your phone, you can sterilize your watch, you can sterilize your wallet, you can sterilize your money. Anything you can sterilize in 20 minutes. Now come to disinfection. So you have seen that regularly before 10-15 days, we are regularly disinfecting the roads, and disinfecting chambers are made to disinfect the patient, disinfect the attendants, disinfect the migrants. And so how to disinfect it? For your house, you clean and disinfected all community surface around you. There are some corners of the house like doorknobs, your staircases, your pen stand, your table, telephone, those which are completely always are touched. This should be almost clean, and the cleaning solution is 1% hypochlorite. And in the kitchen, you can see that kitchen sink, the cloth you are using for soaking your hand, and your food contact spots like the chopping board, your door handle, dustbin. These are the germ fighting areas. There are germ hotspots. These you should clean. And for public spots, one thing is the sodium hypochlorite solution. 1% sodium hypochlorite solution is readily available in the market. This cheap also. You can disinfect it. Just take a little bit of solution. You can spray it, or take a glove, wear a gloves. You can take a solution and you can wipe out. So these are the high contact areas in the office, like chopstick and lift buttons, mouse, cup handles, doorknobs, mobile, train stops, pen, tissue paper holder. These are the high contact surface. These are having high surface contact areas. So you should always sanitize this area also. Do not spit in the public. And the recent epidemic act, this is also a offense. Do not spit in the public and do not urinate in the public. Now, this is a common question I included in this part. In many of the webinars, the friends are asking, so when I am going for grocery shopping, what should I do? When I go for vegetable shopping, what should I do? So this slide I have borrowed from WHO. It shows that when they are going grocery shopping, we keep at least 1 meter distance, avoid the touching, and sanitize the handles of the trolley or basket. There is currently no confirmed cases of COVID-19 transmitted through food or food packaging. But if you want to be doubly sure that if I purchase a bread packet and if I am sure that there is no viruses, you are never sure. So what we can do, that you can keep it in the outside for 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours in a, you can dry it in the sun. Then you can wipe out it in caution and you can use it. Coming to vegetable, before handling them, wash your hands with soap and water. Wash fruit and vegetables thoroughly with clean water, especially if you eat them raw. And some studies show that if you use saline water, or you can use vinegar water, then it is good. But just wash your hands. There is no single cases reported that is transmitted through fruits and vegetables or your food packaging. There are some super spreaders in Surat. I will tell that Surat is a place when there are they have identified that vegetable vendors. The vegetable vendors are super spreaders, but not through the vegetables. It should be contact. Social distancing, it is the one and foremost tool for everybody. So what to do, what did not do. Whether the lockdown is there or not, you should always follow social distancing. First is maintain at least 1 meter distance in hospitals, public places. Work from home, avoid meetings, classes, tutorial, workshops. Keep the number of guests minimal. If social events cannot be postponed, the government has recommended only 50 people for your marriage and 20 people for your Temetarium ceremony. Don't visit the crowded public places. Don't go for non-essential, social, commercial, and religious events. Shaking hand is a high no. Non-essential travel, no tourist trips. Social distance is for your own safety. So you should maintain social distance. A good thing is that always it is told that whenever you are going outside, take an umbrella. When you are taking an umbrella, 2 persons with open umbrellas, they cannot come within 1 meter distance. For children, I will tell that you know that angry birds, whenever the angry bird in the home, they are safe. Whenever he is going outside, this comes. Similarly, in the childhood we have played Mario. So whenever Mario is in the home, it is safe. Whenever he goes outside, there is some chance of this. So I have already told that work from home is more. So you don't think that you are stuck at home, you are safe at home. The COVID-19 has teached us many more things, like you can create your own hobbies, you can give your time to your family people. And so recently 2 to 3 companies, they have declared that they will not allow any around 70% of their workforce will work from home only. So they, in all situations also there are some good things, and we have to take advantage of that. One thing is that for elderly people, take proper care. Don't mix with them without washing your hand. Ensure their proper nutrition. They hydrate them frequently, and let them take adequate amount of fruit juice. Help them to have exercises. Take them their prescribed medicines. They help them to take do the meditation regularly, so that their immunity will gradually increase. Now, one question I have got from the audience, that in workplace, when the office is open, what to do? Make sure that your workplace is clean and hygienic. Promote regular hand washing by employees. Promote respiratory hygiene. Always wear a mask. Regular disinfectant surfaces like your desk and table. Put hand sanitizers in prominent places. Ensure face masks and paper tissues are available. In this picture, you see that every alternate chair is vacant, so that they can maintain proper social distance. Now, questions has been asked about breastfeeding. So you know that through the breast milk, the virus is not transmitted. Even an infected person can breastfeed his child. But you know that through breast milk, the virus cannot be transmitted. But before breastfeeding, the person should ensure that he is wearing a mask and he should clean his hand. Breastfeeding protects our babies and children from getting sick, and you can still breastfeed, express milk, or use other approaches. Basic measures like wearing a medical mask, washing your hands is required, and if the person is having severely affected, then we can use the express breast milk. But if the breast milk is having not shown any scientific data transmit the viruses. Next questions I have got, I am regularly getting that what about vaccination and birth dose vaccination, that is regular vaccination that is available, that is mandatory by the government. You can go for that in all health facilities, in all health centers, in all private institutions. The vaccination is going on irrespective of the district. But yes, when there is containment zone and buffer zone, and there are no outreach sessions and immunization services is stopped, but areas beyond buffer and green zone, you can always go for a vaccination. Arogya Setu app, there are a lot of controversies, but one thing is that if you use this app, there is no personal information is shared, there is encrypted signature, and this app gives a security. If somebody, if your contact, the Bluetooth is on, and if you are coming contact with somebody, or you're crossing somebody who is later positive, then you can get a message. So everybody should install this app. Stress busters, I have already told: exercise, eat healthy, yoga. You can increase your immunity, and inculcate mindfulness. Do meditation regularly. Reduce your anxiety and stress. At least 30 hours, 30 minutes of exercise per day. Till that you are having profuse shooting is at a must. You should always help for the frontline workers like policemen, the doctors, the paramedical workers, because whenever they are doing the duty, they are risking their lives for ourselves. These are all the do's and don'ts I have already told. Now I already told that the new normal is avoid touching your eyes, nose and mouth. If the person is only follows this, that avoid touching your eyes, nose and mouth, and whenever you want to touch, you wash your hand, and that is more than sufficient. So how to suspect something? This is the slogan by All India Radio, and I appreciate it. That is respect all but suspect all. Think that the person you are interacting is having COVID-19, and you have to maintain like that, but you have to respect them. So respect all and suspect all, maintain the social distance.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am.
Yes, we can take, sir, few questions.
Yeah.
And one question is, can we wash fruit and vegetable with any chemical to sanitize them?
No, actually, I have already told that whatever thing I will tell, only the scientific data that should be backed by WHO or any health institution. So the data shows that You can just wash the vegetables. Sometimes KMNO for potassium permanganate is used, but it is having little bit side effect also. So that has been stopped. Just wash it properly. Just we know that the virus in the surfaces, in the surface of any contact area, it can live only for 2 to 3 hours, sometimes per days. But we have to wash it properly. No harm. No chemical is required.
So next question from Mr. Sivia, and question is why COVID-19 is spreading very fast than any other viruses, and why it is hard to stop the spread of virus.
It is spreading very fast because you know that HIV or HPSAG, these are blood-borne viruses. So, but this COVID-19 is a normal like a flu viruses. So the transmission is from droplet transmission. So whenever there is a droplet transmission, we cannot prevent it. You have to take precaution about it. So this spread will be always in the higher side because from contact to your nose, contact to your mouth, the virus is spreading. That means due to the airborne transmission and droplet transmission, and you know that some studies show that the viruses, if a patient sneezes, and the virus can transmit it up to 1 to 2 meter also. That's why the transmission is so high. Nama.
Now, since the next question is from Mr. Shasikant.
Yeah.
His question is coronavirus viable or alive in liquids, or for example as water?
Coronavirus in water. Actually, till date, I have not got any scientific data about water. Yes, one thing is that it can in surfaces, like you have seen that in the higher surface it can write for 2 to 3 hours. In copper it is for 4 hours. In newspaper or your currency is for 4 to 6 hours. But in liquid medium, frankly, I don't have any scientific data. But one thing I want to tell that the transmission rate of the viruses, which is in the higher side, that is always said by your government or WHO. So this is not said because you know that whenever in any media or any government bulletin, they don't tell that you don't drink water or anything like that. So mostly the droplet transmission, the viruses goes to a droplet. So I don't think it is transmission. As you know that no study show that taking a fruits or taking a vegetable will infect the viruses. Similarly, it is applicable to water also.
We are waiting for more questions. So till that time, I have a general question.
Yeah.
Like, like the virus responsible for COVID-19, it is named as SARS-CoV-2 virus.
Mm-hmm.
So this 2, what does it imply, sir?
SARS-CoV-2 virus. Actually, I have hearing for the first time. It is not SARS-CoV-2 virus.
Okay. So actually, I read yesterday that the name of the disease and the name of the virus would be different. Like the name of the disease, it is named by WHO, and the name of the virus which causes a particular disease, it is named by International Committee on Taxonomy for Viruses. And it was saying that the virus responsible for COVID-19 is SARS-CoV-2 virus. So
Frankly,
I was just asking.
Actually, till my knowledge, and it is told that in the WHO guidelines, it is told that that it is COVID-19, and COVID-19 because of the year of origin, and sometimes it is called Wuhan virus, but due to some issues by some governments, so it is only till COVID-19. Frankly, I don't have any idea about that.
Okay, sir. Sir, and another question is, sir, is it the flattening curve of the COVID cases in India, if it is happening, that is it because of less number of tests that is happening? Is it because of that?
Actually, you see that if a country, I will not talk about India, if a country will not do proper test, the curve will flatten, but the mortality rate will definitely increase. So when to do testing? You know that we are in the condition that after so many of days, after 3 months of our hard work, we are reaching a point so that we can test only 1 lakh population in a day. So if we calculate that, so it will take 13,000 days. 13,000 days means it is almost around 40 years to test all the population of India. And you know that it is not only one test. You have to test for a person up to 3 times. Once if it is infected, and if it is not decreasing up to, it is to tell him it is cured, it is to test for 2 times. So that is, we cannot tell that we can do the mass testing. There is some criteria. There are some criteria fit by the Indian government. There are some criteria fitted by the World Health Organization. So they are doing only contact tracing. Yes, if you will do less number of testing, the curve will flatten, but the mortality rate will definitely increase. What will happen that whenever a patient will go to the hospital, then if suspected by viruses, then you can get positive cases. But thing is that here in India, except some cities, the situation is not like that. This thing is little bit different. Whenever a patient comes to the hospital with symptoms, whenever we are testing, we are getting the positive cases. So, as per particularly answering your question, if the test number will be less, definitely we have a flattened curve, but the mortality rate will increase. But in case of India, we cannot say that we are having the less number of tests.
Okay. The next, the question is from Mr. Sarthak. His question is, what about the persons tested positive without any symptoms? Because many such cases are reported recently. So how to deal with the situation? People will feel they are safe and move out freely, but it can be dangerous.
Yeah, that's why I have told that respect all and suspect all. You do not know. I may be infected by COVID-19 because around 90% of the people in my city there is a COVID hospital. My friends are working there. So whenever I talk to them, they told that around 90% of the people around 400 people admitted in our COVID hospital. Only 3 people have died, and we have referred only 5 to 10 people. So 400 out of 5. That means around 90% of the people, they don't have any symptoms. Even they don't have symptoms of fever. Sometimes fever is there. They are only paracetamol. The fever is subsiding. So we cannot know that the person is infected or not. So always respect all and suspect all.
Okay, sir, maybe we can go for your next presentation session, then followed by questions.
Okay. Now coming to isolation and quarantine. This is a very controversial topic. Controversial in the sense because different government criteria is changing day by day. That's why I made this slide in last moment. Last moment because you know that in Odisha it is literal that there is to be 21 days of quarantine followed by 7 days of quarantine. Later it is changed to 14 days plus 7 days. Now it is only for 7 days followed by 14 days. So this has been changed day by day according to the situation, according to the number of migrants and things like that. But what is scientific? The scientific is that whenever the chances of viruses in your body is more, transmission is more, you should be in a quarantine facility. So what are the studies? It studies shows that around 28 days, the virus is staying inside the body. So they are identical. And sometimes the 33 days also. So the identical quarantine should be for 28 days, but it differs from government to government. So when to practice home quarantine, if you are asymptomatic, what are one of the following? It should be travel history positive, physical exposure to any person who are having positive cases of body fluids or secretions of soiled items, living in the same household with COVID-19 expected. So what to do for home quarantine? Stay in a well-ventilated single room, follow respiratory and hand hygiene, maintain at least 1 meter distance, always wear face mask, avoid sharing household items. The person who is having home quarantine, he should swell in another room, he should use separate toilet, he should not use the normal bathroom. I've already told, stay in a ventilation room for 14 days, maintain proper hygiene, wash your hands frequently, always wear a face mask while inside home also, maintain proper hygiene, maintain distance from family members, do not share any household like food or utensils. Now, whenever you are in home quarantine, the government is now pasting stickers, strictly avoid visitors at home during home quarantine or in general. Your safety is in your own hands. One thing is good that the government had allowed for the home quarantine. Actually, it is very much difficult to be when now the government's criteria says that even if you are turning positive, you can also be in the home quarantine facility. It's a good decision because in that case you can enjoy your home environment. Otherwise, in a COVID hospital, it is a little bit difficult to surrounded by the different types of people, and so support the patients who have recovered, don't stigmatize them. Sorry. So there are guidelines for quarantines to return from abroad. The first thing is that quarantine and isolation facility not to coexist, and facility owner to dedicating. Quarantine means a person who is suspected, that is he has been living in a quarantine session. A doctor who has finished his duty, he is in a quarantine. And isolation facility means the person who are suspected, they are not tested, they live in the isolation facility. So facility to offer single room on paid basis, I will not go by detail because the accommodation charge the government has allowed for the paid quarantine or paid isolation. So the isolation and quarantine should not be in the same manner. So this much is for my isolation and quarantine. One. Okay, you can take any questions or I will go move on, madam.
Sir, next, sir, we have one question from Miss Sonia Patnaik. Question is, what about wearing a face mask? We all have to wear it, or someone having flu or cold should wear, because it is informed that the virus can be alive in the mask up to 8 hours. So, is not it risky?
So my thing, I have already answered this question. I think everybody should wear a mask. The infected person should wear a mask to prevent the transmission of the virus. A healthy person should wear a mask or prevent himself from getting infected. Everybody should wear a mask to cure about the cross infection. And she has told right that in a mask the virus can be stay up to 8 hours. So the disposal of the mask is very much important. And if you are reusing the mask, you should be doubly sure. You have to wash it. I have told you about all things about the mask sterilization, how to sterilize the mask, and by a heat oven or by UV sterilization or by keeping in a paper bag in the dry air. So the sterilization of the mask should be practically followed. Otherwise, you can take a clean cloth, you can wash it right in the sun, and you can reuse it. But for disposal mask, you always should be dispose it. And whenever the mask is soiled, do not put the mask in all like general items. You are putting the mask in your table. You are putting the mask inside upper on your bed, or you can hanging the mask here and there. That means you are just allowing the viruses to transmit. So wearing the mask is important, but disposable and sanitizing the mask is more important than that.
So now no one else has asked so far. So
Okay. So I will go to next questions, next
okay.
part.
Yes, sir.
That is drugs and vaccines. Here deliberately I have told I have kept very few slides because till date no single drug is available that can completely cure the viruses. What we are using, there are 2 to 3 drugs or 4 drugs which we are using. One is hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, remdesivir. These are all a basket of drugs. Ivermectin is a drug for you are using for diarrhea or any antidote drugs. Remdesivir is a antiviral drug. Hydroxychloroquine is an antimalarial drug. So whatever we have knowledge about the SARS, whatever we have knowledge about the Ebola, we are using that. But now there is no single shot drug that can completely cure the viruses. So only one thing is that prevention. Now coming to prophylaxis, we all know that there is a word for hydroxychloroquine. The dose we all know that 400 milligram BD on the day one, then 400 milligram weekly for 7 weeks. It is only for the healthcare workers, and for other people it is 400 milligram BD for day one and 400 milligram weekly once for 3 weeks. Now government has recently, last week, government has allowed to take these drugs for all the police personnel, all the sarpanchas who are taking care of the quarantine centers. So, but do not think that if a person is taking hydroxychloroquine, he will not be affected. There is a the different theory that it can protect, but there is no sure shot. I have already told that hydroxychloroquine, yeah, there are some more side effects like hydroxychloroquine with azithromycin is sometimes very fatal. We have got 2 to 3 cases where the patient died after taking these things. So all asymptomatic healthcare workers and all healthcare workers in COVID hospitals, asymptomatic frontline workers, ambulance worker, ambulance drivers, and household contacts of laboratory confirmed cases can use, but children below 15 years of age, pregnant and lactating mothers, and people with certain medical conditions are excluded. The key considerations are that it should be given under strict medical supervision with informed consent, to be given only on prescription of a RMP, registered medical practitioner, and advised to consult with the physician before initiating the medication. And you don't think that if you're using hydroxychloroquine, you should not use mask or PPE. The mask and PPE should be must. If anyone becomes symptomatic while in prophylaxis, immediately contact the health facility to get tested as per the national guideline and for the standard treatment protocol. And all asymptomatic or laboratory confirmed cases should remain in home quarantine even if they are on prophylactic therapy. Now, this is the last part, I think, last part of the presentation, and this is the interesting part. Here, I will go for some myth busters. This is around 20-30 slides. I will go, the time is, I will almost over. So I will go very quickly.
the time is still 5:30, so you can take more time. Not a problem.
Okay, okay. So Mythbusters. So this Mythbusters site I have made with questions which are asked by from my different participants in the previous webinars. The thing is that pet. Someone is asking that if I have a cat or a dog, should I will discard them or I will move them outside, because can pets at home spread COVID-19? No, there is no evidence that pets such as dogs or cats can transmit COVID-19. There is no scientific data availability yet. Now, does the new coronavirus affected only older people, or younger people are susceptible? I have already told that everybody is susceptible, both the elder, younger, child, even in Odisha, where person is infected, 5-year-old child is infected. So everybody can be infected, but the mortality rate is higher in elderly age group. So older people and people with pre-existing medical condition like asthma, diabetes, and hypertension, these are more vulnerable. So they should not be exposed to the viruses. They should be in quarantine facility or they should be in their home isolation till the pandemic is over. Now, some friends are asking me that if the sanitation can kill the virus, if I will take alcohol little bit, then can it kill the viruses in my throat? No, absolutely not. Methanol, ethanol, and bleach are poisons. Drinking them can lead to disability and death. To protect yourself against COVID-19, disinfect objects and surfaces, especially the ones we can touch regularly. But taking alcohol does not kill the viruses, but they will always harm your internal organs. Any antibiotic are effective? No, there is no antibiotic till now which can cure the viruses. So the new coronavirus 2019 nCoV is a viruses. Then you know that antibiotic does not take on viruses. So there is no role of antibiotics. Now, spraying of the disinfectant like bleaching powder or hydrochloride in our body, should it protect? So can it protect? No. Under any circumstances, spray or bleach of any other disinfectant into your body. Do not. If sometimes you are spraying also, just wear a gloves, you just wear a mask and do the disinfectant. Remember that chlorine, bleach and other disinfectant would be out of reach of the children, and sometimes when it comes to contact with your skin, it can cause dermatitis. There are some social messages that if you are able to control your breath for 10 seconds more without coughing or feeling discomfort, it means that you are free from coronavirus diseases, and it spread so much that the WHO gave a clarification that this is absolutely false. The most common symptoms of COVID-19 are dry cough, tiredness, and fever, and that is also in the 10% of people. And some people may not develop more severe forms of symptoms, and some people will develop more severe symptoms. So it is absolutely no, and this is absolutely fallacious. There are something that cold weather and snow can kill the viruses. No, you will see throughout the world the temperature which is highest high in Nigeria and in Australia. There are some in also winter season also and summer season also. There is no distribution for the viruses. The virus can transmit in any temperature. Hand dryers, and some people are telling that hand dryers effectively in killing the new coronaviruses. No, hand dryers are not effective, but washing your hand with your soap for 20 seconds or alcohol-based sanitizer is a must. So hydroxychloroquine, I have already clarified that hydroxychloroquine is not a wonder drug to cure your disease. Several drug trials are ongoing. There is currently no proof that hydroxychloroquine or any other drug can cure or prevent COVID-19. Taking a hot bath does not prevent the new coronavirus diseases. Yes, as we can wash your hands, you can wash your body for to get prevent of the coronavirus. But taking a hot bath does not prevent or does not give you immunity to get cure from the COVID-19. Any chance of transmission through housefly or mosquitoes? No. There is no evidence or information that COVID-19 virus is transmitted through houseflies or mites or in mosquitoes. Any specific medicine or any specific drug to prevent the new coronaviruses? I've already told. To date, there is no specific medicine recommended to prevent or treat the new coronaviruses. The only thing is prevention. 5G mobile network. It is a rumor that 5G mobile network do not spread COVID-19. Yes, viruses cannot travel on radio waves or mobile networks. So COVID-19 is spreading in many countries that do not have 5G mobile networks is absolutely fallacious. There is no relation between mobile network or radio stations with the coronaviruses. Yeah, this is a very favorite question from some of my friends, that hot peppers in your food. If you add hot peppers or chili, then it can make your dish tasty, but it cannot prevent it can prevent or cure the COVID-19. But one thing is that the Indian spices are more immunity busters. They can increase your immunity, but they cannot prevent entry the coronaviruses. Increasing the immunity and getting prevented by coronavirus both two different things. But for increasing the immunity, you have always take a balanced diet. You should take a well hydrated. You should exercise regularly. You should have adequate sleep. hot and humid climates, I have already told that COVID-19 can be transmitted in any climate. In exposing the body to temperature, if you're exposing to sun for a larger period, you can tell, some people tell that the laborers who are working in the sun, they are not much affected because sun kills the viruses. No, the sun doesn't kill the viruses, and so this is absolutely fallacious statement. Exposing yourself to the sun or temperature higher than 25 degrees centigrade does not prevent or not cure COVID-19. Vaccines, till date, vaccine trial has been made, but there is no sure-shot vaccines against pneumonia, such as and for COVID-19, and vaccines against the typically HIV vaccines does not provide the protection against the new viruses. Now, what is this duty of a responsible citizen? I have already told that appreciate efforts of people providing your essential service, be supportive, cross-check any information that is related to COVID-19 from reliable sources. Before forwarding any message on social media, you just, I have told 2 to 3 sites, who.int or your Health and Family Welfare, they are having Twitter account. You just follow them, but not everybody else. Share only the authentic information and share always positive stories.
So can
Now,
we take questions?
yeah, you can take questions.
Okay, so the question is, Mr. Viswanath Mishra, he has asked to discuss about immunity boosters.
Yeah. I have already talked about immunity boosters like adequate nutrition. Nutrition I have already told that is FDA approved. That means your nutrition should have 25% of the carbohydrate, 25% of the proteins, 40% of the fruits, and 60% of the vegetables with a glass of dairy milk or bowl of dairy milk products is the ideal diet for the healthy human being. You should follow it. Along with that, Indian spices, thus we are regularly using for our food. There are some immunity boosters. Along with that, you have to take proper hydration. You have to take adequate rest, adequate exercises, meditation, and relaxation techniques. These all 5 things continue for your immunity. And I've already told that immunity cannot be made in a day. It is your lifestyle that makes your body immune to other infections.
So next question is from Mr. Sashikant. His question is, if smoking helps to increase the chance of helps in increasing the chances of infection.
Definitely, smoking doesn't kill the viruses, but what happens that those are regular smokers, they are mostly coming to having COPD or tuberculosis, so they are having high chance of, they are having high risk of getting infected.
So the question from Ms. Shobha, she is asking, hydroxychloroquine is used in rheumatoid arthritis and malaria. For which symptom? For which symptom of the COVID-19 this hydroxychloroquine is used? Is it a prescribed drug, or since it is available easily in pharmacy, so people are using it?
One thing is that hydroxychloroquine is having a different use in rheumatoid arthritis, in malaria, in skin conditions like your sun eruptions. They are being used for a long time. But coming to second part of the questions, for which symptoms treatment it is useful in case of COVID, it is not a symptomatic treatment. There are various drugs have been tried. Hydroxychloroquine is one of the drug trials which has been done. So, is it a prescribed drug? Yes. Initially, it was available in the market, but nowadays it is not available in the market. It is out of stock. It is not easily available from the pharmacy. You have to get it from if you want to have it. So you have to get the prescription, and the doctor should also justify the prescription about hydroxychloroquine. So I have already told that it is not a sure-shot drug, but different trials have told that it is having little bit of efficacy in COVID-19. Another question which has been asked to me that what are the drugs which is given for COVID-19 successful treatment? There is nothing called successful treatment. One thing is that we are doing with now symptomatic treatment. To prevent fever, giving paracetamol. To prevent any other like your respiratory pathogens, you are giving some antivirals. So if you are having certain pneumonia, anti-pneumonia drugs. If you are having breathing difficulties, you are getting to ICU and you are having intubated. So mostly symptomatic treatment. There are basket full of drugs are being used, but till now there is no successful single drug that can be named that can cure the virus.
So next, I would also like to add one question. So, whenever we get any eatables from the market in form of vegetables or fruits, so is it recommended to dip that fruit in a bucket of water having caustic soda for 1 hour?
Actually,
Or
and that I've already told that what WHO guideline and Indian government guidelines shows that you have to wash properly the fruit before using it, so that the surface, if there is some virus also in the surface, that will be washed out. It is good if you can use caustic soda, or if you can use saline water, or you can use vinegar to it. That is a additive, but it should be washed properly. Just washing the vegetable, thorough washing of the vegetables before consuming is more than sufficient.
sir, are there any more questions which had been asked during registration, or
I think I have almost answered everything.
covered them?
This has been covered. One question was there. Just a minute. One question was there that I think about which industries that will boom after.
Which industry will be beneficial after completion of?
Which industries will be beneficial after completion of this COVID-19? One thing is that this I will tell you that this COVID-19 has given us a significant change in our lifestyle. The first thing is, you know, that the application we are using, Zoom, GoToMeeting, Google Meet, these are the applications which are nobody has been using, and some companies have told that 70% of their work can be done from work from home. So there are different innovations, and I will just finish off these innovation slides, then I will answer this question. We can see that innovations, IIT Madras is developing a risk tracker for early detection of COVID symptoms. So what they have done, we know that many of people are using smartwatches. So what is smartwatch? Smartwatch can take your pulse rate. The smartwatch can take your step count. The smartwatch can take many more things, but mostly it can take your pulse rate and your step counts, the exercise model, the pedometers are using. But what they have used that they have injected a thermometer into it, so that it can increase your temperature. So it can detect your temperature. So it can detect your temperature. It can detect your pulse rate and respiratory rate. It is almost the respiratory rate is not so much sure, but for particular purposes, because even the respiratory rate increases, your heart rate decreases or increases for symptoms. So mostly they have injected a thermometer into it, so that can this is a risk tracker for detection of the COVID-19 symptoms. Similarly, another innovation like IIT Tirupati, the students developed a game called Survivor COVID-19. So this is a game for to gather the information and telling about the mythbusters about the for children. You can download the game and you can easily play and again gain the information. So there are some very much good innovations are there. Next is, you know, that the CISR NCL, the National Chemical Laboratory, they develop a face mask that is capable of filtering out 99% of bacteria. The prototypes of mask that is gone to Citra. Citra, you know that Citra and ITRA is the two association, those who are approving the PPE kits, and the result from human pathogen that the Staph aureus was found to be 99.9% cannot be go inside it. Whereas in case of particular filter, it is 92.63%. I will tell two things about the mask. one thing is that in our department there are some people who are coming, they are deep and dumb from the birth. So whenever they are using mask, they mostly lip read, so they cannot talk and they cannot hear. So what they have developed, they are using this type of mask, which within a transparent sheet, that they can see the lip reading. This is the innovation. Second thing is that you can see the video. This myself with the help of the government ITI people here. So we have seen that several companies are selling it, this food sanitizer dispenser. They are selling that automated sanitizer dispenser with a higher price. So ITI Barampur, with some of my friends and some of my directors, they take our technical data and they have made the food dispenser. This cost around this cost around the production cost is around 500 rupees, which is sold in market in 2200. We'll see that this is the innovation. Second innovation is that I have already told that UVC sterilization. The UVC sterilization machine that costs around 8,000, and the IIT people, they have developed it with a broken microwave oven. They are taking the microwave oven, the cabinet, they are fitting the UV chambers, that they are fitting a timer, and that is available. That costs around that costs around 1,000 to 2,000 rupees, depending on the size. So lot more innovation is there. So if you can innovate, that that company will grow. IIT Kanpur has developed PPE kit. What is that PPE kit? The cost of PPE kit, I am telling you that PPE kit initially we are using for HIV patient or HPC patient. These are costing us 500 rupees. These were costing us 500 rupees. After the COVID-19, just after the COVID-19, there is so scarcity in the market due to the transport issues. The price gone around 10 times higher. We have purchased on 4,500 rupees. When the lockdown little bit decreased, the supply chain continued. Now it is sold at 1,600 rupees. Some local companies, those who are, I have seen that many companies here, those who are producing undergarments, those who are producing your raincoats, those who are producing umbrellas, they are now producing PPE kits in a very cheap manner. Now the local PPE kit which we are manufacturing, means our local bodies manufacture, it costs us around 400 rupees. But IIT Kanpur developed a PPE kit for frontline workers that is costing around 100 rupees per kit. But this is yet to be satisfied. So if you are having any innovation, you will survive in the market. Like the ICMR test kit they have developed, it is yet to come in the market, but they are developed in a month's time. So this is a very rapid kit. The rapid kit we got from China, all are fallacious. So I think I have almost finished my presentation. So if there are some more questions unanswered or some more questions, I am happy to answer.
We have mostly covered all the questions, and one more has come up now. Question is from Mr. Shashikant. Yeah. His question is, sir, what is plasma therapy?
Okay, what is plasma therapy? Plasma therapy means when you know that whenever any virus or bacteria enters into our body, so it creates antibody in our body. It is an antigen, and it is an antibody. Antibody means it is the immunity factor that is in our body. They introduce a protein that is stored in our blood cells. So what plasma therapy is doing? Plasma therapy means the plasma is a part of blood. Plasma is taken from the recovered patient, and that plasma is given to patients who are in a serious condition. A patient who has been successfully recovered from the COVID-19, he has developed antibody inside his body. That antibody is stored in the body in blood inside the plasma. The plasma is collected. The blood is collected from the patient. Plasma is separated, and this separated plasma is injected to a healthy patient's body, to the patient's body who is having symptoms of COVID-19. to get a little bit cured. It was practiced in some part of country, but the ICMR stopped it because of there are different things. Different thing that this plasma contains antibody for that particular COVID-19 virus. Okay, but that plasma contain the plasma is a bloody fluid that may contain different things. It may be there will be some blood, there is some mismatch. This may cause any other virus. This may cause any other organism. So the plasma therapy should be done in a very certified certified means in a very strict formulation with a strict guideline. So plasma therapy is now has been stopped in India, but this is there is a chance. There are some studies, there are some Ayurvedic studies. They are telling that the study is going on. One of my senior friend is a very good ENT surgeon throughout, known throughout the world, but he is an Ayurvedic inclination. He has shown that if you inject the viruses into the cow milk, the colostrum, cow milk, that will have the higher antibodies that is equivalent to plasma. But how far it is sure? So we don't know. Studies are going on. So, but that's all about plasma therapy. But recently now plasma therapy is not going on. It is stopped due to different issues.
So, and we have received thanks for your presentation from many participants,
Yeah.
and they have mentioned that it is very informative. So,
Thank you so much.
and we have also shared your number as well as email ID and have asked people to contact you preferably by email ID, and if not possible, then by through your mobile number. But
Yeah, no issues, no issues.
okay.
One thing is that whenever I'm in OPD or OT, I will not answer, but I will definitely call back you. I will definitely call you back. Maybe after 2 to 3 hours, I will just definitely call you.
Okay, sir, and we request everyone to also email you and ask you all their doubts.
Yeah.
And
Another thing that if you have any feedback, you got any feedback, you can just share with me so that
yes, sir, we will do that
I will be
certainly.
enlightened.
Yes, sir, we will do it for sure. And thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Himanshu Chaudhary, sir, for an enlightening and informative talk on COVID-19 and finding time from your busy schedule and accepting our request. And participants have already mentioned that the webinar is very informative and have also thanked you in our chat window. And on behalf of KIT TBI, kindly accept our sincere thanks.
It's my pleasure, madam. Thank you so much.
And before we close today's enlightening and interactive webinar, I deeply thank all our participants for joining us today and for their valuable time. And we request you also to join for our upcoming webinars, and the details of which I have also shared in our social platforms, the link for which I have shared in the chat window today. So all of you are requested to join in our upcoming webinars. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.